Today is November 9th. We are joined by our guy, Joez McFly. The Yanks actually did a bunch of stuff. Guys are off the team. Guys are getting 40-man new coaches. And Joez McFly's dream offseason. Let's do it. Let's talk Yanks.
Talking Yanks with old JOMBOY, Jake,
and Joez.
Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, steam and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talking Yanks. Talking Yanks with old JOMBOY and Jake. Talking Yanks with old JOMBOY and Jake.
John Baby.
And John Baby. Hello and welcome to Talking Yanks. Myself, Jake R. Storielli, first of his name. From
King of the Andals and the first men.
Hail from Middlebury, son of Linda and James. We got a new James in the Talking Yanks family.
Yes.
King BBD producing his butt off. And Joez McFly in the studio today. Back from the DR?
From the Dominican Republic.
What were you doing down there? Scouting?
Yeah. We'll just say that.
Joez McFly was scouting in the DR. Had a good time. Had
Great
to come
time.
down from the baseball season. You were streaming through the playoffs.
Yeah.
You were going.
Yeah. It's grind time. It was grind time.
It was grind time.
It was fun. Congrats, Atlanta.
Congrats, Atlanta. That's now we've got something to aim for. We got the Atlanta World Series mug that we use that here as motivation.
Yes.
That's motivation.
Right here.
What is going on in the chat? We got the chat open today. Glad to be talking Yanks with everyone. Sandino the Great.
That's a Bino.
That's a Bino goal.
Sabino go.
We actually have a lot. You know, it's always funny. The Talking Yanks offseason comes up, and it's like, okay, how are we going to get through it? Are we going to get any news? What's going on? And, man, baseball actually has been finding a way between declining options and coaches and guys getting claimed. And the biggest one.
It just feels like every off-season episode we're always like, up until the episode, like, oh, what are we going to talk about? And then all of a sudden there's too much.
There's usually one or two in January that are tough.
January can get tough when guys are supposed to be signing and not yet.
But then it's still so gray outside that you got to listen to something. And we get the bomb yesterday. Joez's guy, Heaney, going to the Dodgers.
Yes. Yes, there's that. Well, there's going to be a lot of fun baseball talk with the CBA, right?
Oh,
that's
Labor
fun.
Pod. Labor
Those
Pod.
are fun.
So, yeah.
Don't like it.
Hopefully we don't get into that. There hasn't been a lot of labor talk. I thought it was going to be.
That's not good.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I thought it was going to be like, since the World Series ended, I thought the whole baseball conversation was going to be like, here it comes. We're getting ready to lock out. There hasn't been any of that.
So far, it's like been normal.
It's just been coaches and some players.
And Trevor Plouffe, who we all know, he was on the compound, said he thinks it's down to like 20% that there is a lockout, I believe is the number he threw out there. He's saying he just feels like both sides have too much to lose. They'll probably just figure it out for at least this
that
time
immediately makes me feel confident.
Yeah.
around.
Because
Really hope
he
I
is a
got
prophet.
that number right.
He is a prophet.
Plouffe the prophet.
Plouffe-Tradamus.
Plouffe-Tradamus.
Braves in 6.
Talkin Yanks.
I need to incept him
Yeah.
to call Yankees in 6 against some random team
Yanks in
next year.
4.
I'll take, you know what?
Yeah.
Yanks in
Let's
3.
get dominant.
Yanks in 3. I'll take Yanks in
Get a
3.
Get back
forfeit.
to the CS.
Yes.
Get a forfeit.
Please.
Joez, I'm excited to chat with you. Pinstripe Strong, JM Gaming.
Yes.
You've been getting going off the ground. The DR. How are you, man? We'll start out wide and then we'll get into some of these, transactions. Your guy Greg Allen gone, but
Yeah.
how are you doing? How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm kind of excited because of the way that this year went. Last year was like the 60 game season, and then you kind of forgot what 162 is like.
Yeah.
How many times have I said that coming in the
Yeah.
office? And then we come in, to this. This is kind of like the first year for the company, almost.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we come in here, and then you get into this grind, and then it's like, shit, this is like what 162 is like doing this. And
Yeah.
it was dope. So, now we added the gaming. Got Bino tournaments coming.
Oh, teaser.
That should be fun.
Maybe more Bino on the way.
Maybe more Abino on the way. Some fun off-season content, which would be dope.
Bino and a baby.
A Bino and a baby.
Ain't that it?
A baby's a Bino.
Johnson is best. I might have told Jimmy yesterday we were gonna call him on this, so maybe we'll do that. Totally kind of forgot about that. But he's been loving his baby time. Said the baby's been like sleeping perfectly and stuff. He's reportedly has a good one. So
It's good.
I'll send him a message now. We might have to link up with him.
Good.
Before we get into it, Joez, Yanks are spending $1 billion this offseason.
Well, yeah, I mean, you kept Aaron Boone, so that's what that means, right?
That's what that means. Joez, first, can we talk about Magic Spoon a little bit?
Yes, the cereal.
You're familiar.
I'm familiar with the Office.
Have you spooned?
I've magicked.
You've magicked. You've spooned.
Spoon.
Have you magic spooned?
I've magic spooned.
Okay. What
I
flavor
don't
do you
want
have?
that to be clipped up as me saying I spooned.
Do you?
I don't want it to do that. I have people out there, and I have mods that are in like my Twitch and stuff that they clip up
Right.
everything I say.
They clipped up me getting killed in Call of Duty, but not me getting the kill in the gulag.
To them, that didn't happen.
Magic Spoon, if you guys don't know, it's a healthy cereal. I had a realization after the postseason, some late night eating, New Orleans. I got to tighten it up. Started today. I'm on it. And Magic Spoon's a part of that. There's 0 grams of sugar. 13 to 14 grams of protein, only 4 net grams of carbs, 140 calories in a serving, keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and you can build your custom box. They send them in bundles. Cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, cinnamon, cookies and cream, and Joez, we always tell the people, you got to maple waffle.
I think I'm gonna actually get some Magic Spoon because I'm starting the gym today.
Let's go. It's off-season. Like, we're getting ready for next spring
Off-season
training.
workout vids,
Go to magicspoon.com/Yanks. You can remember that one. Yanks. magicspoon.com/Yanks. And you will get $5 off your custom bundle. Go do it, guys. They send them over boxes of 4. Jom and I have signed up. It's a good snack. It's a good breakfast. You have kids and stuff. You don't want to give them all that sugar. This is like
no sugar.
This is how you can
Tastes
trick
good.
them. They're like, "Oh, you want your fruity cereal? Here you go." And the kids are like, "Yay! I love you, Uncle Jake."
Is that John Baby?
It's good cereal. I don't know what to tell you guys.
Magicspoon.com/Yanks.
You're not convinced
Was
yet.
that John Baby on the ad?
I think that was John Baby talking.
Wow.
This kid's already paying dividends for us.
This is huge. We got a new employee.
Well, the baby was arguing with me, remember? With the, you said Trevor Story. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
that was a text message.
Yeah. This baby's locked in. Joez, let's do a couple of guys are no longer Yankees. A couple of guys that actually had some fun highlights in this season.
Yes.
Greg Allen, who one of the most roller coaster seasons in Yankee history, was kind of electric, went missing, and then brought back for the playoffs after not being on the roster again.
Yeah.
He played?
Didn't play, but he was on.
He
I
didn't
believe he was
play,
on the
but they
wild
brought
card
him
roster.
back for the wild card after not playing him.
Doesn't count.
Tim Locastro, who the Yankees traded for, and it seemed like he was a perfect, like, 5th outfielder, up
Hustle
and down
dude.
from the minors, speed, defense, local New York guy. He's gone. The Red Sox claimed him. So expect him to be stealing bases on us next year. And then the one that's probably the most emotion, some of the best emotion we had this year, the kid from the Bronx, Andrew Velazquez, claimed by the Angels, started the wild card game. I don't know. Do any of those evoke emotion from you? Are you?
Well, the Yankees lost their starting shortstop. Technically.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
think that means that they might be getting another one. Hey,
Oh.
might be.
Rumor mill.
But yeah, Velazquez, man, and I because I was able to become, a little buddy with him, and because I told him before, I said, make sure you play as loose as your Tims, and he liked that, and I was like, and then I hit him up after, the Angels. I'm like, so Anaheim, huh? He's like, damn. I'm like, I say, I bet I'm gonna see you somewhere in the Bronx in Patricia's though, because it's like, if you guys don't know, in the Bronx, it's like an Italian restaurant, family style, all that stuff is dope. Make sure this is not an ad.
You haven't taken me
shit,
there.
They didn't pay.
I'm an Italian in the Bronx at this point.
Oh, so you need to go to Patricia's.
Okay, ad.
So yeah, he's like, yeah, I'll still be in the Bronx. I'll still be around. So, but kind of wish we would have played him a little more, and I felt like he brought like a fun versatility story to the team when he did come up. But wish him luck in Anaheim, because apparently they're still looking for a shortstop. I don't know.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping the Angels don't sign any of the shortstops, because Squid was fun. The stolen base numbers are there. He's never really hit at the major league level. You kind of have to be honest about that. But he's getting older. Slap it around. His defense was fun, man. Some of the defensive analytics, didn't like it, which, again,
Small
defensive
sample.
analytics in a small sample, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Pass the eye test.
If Velazquez got
eye
120 games at shortstop one year, I think it would be a lot of fun. There'd be a lot of highlights. We'll see. That does, I guess the Velazquez thing, something that's attached to it, like these Yankees young shortstops that everyone's talking about, Peraza,
Yes.
Volpe. In theory, that leaves more of a lane for this upcoming season. Hopefully there is a big piece in front of them
Yes.
that makes that kind of not important. But
there's the other part of it. There's every year people, people don't understand. There's a lot of weird nuances with baseball roster stuff. So
Yes.
Yankees had a bunch of guys that weren't counting against the 40-man because they
Right.
were on big injuries, 60-day IL stuff that ended Monday. So they had to make space on the roster to activate Britton, Clint, and/or Voit, Hicks. In theory, Locastro, who they ended up just waiving. So they had to open up space for guys they already have, and Rule 5 stuff's coming.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of what happens this time of year. And
Writings
those are the
isn't
guys.
protected. I mean, what's his injury? I don't even remember what his injury was.
everyone keeps replying injured, and it's like,
What
okay.
is
But
that?
they've
Yeah.
been, and the Yankees are kind of secretive about every injury, but they've been particularly kind of quiet about that one.
So yeah, the Yankees with that, Rob
I like
Brantley,
writings.
a Talkin Yanks legend, by the way. Rob Brantley was so nice to us. So we thank him. He's outrighted. He's going to free agency. We'll see if he's back. He's been posting Instagram workouts and tagging me, so might get myself in the mix there a little bit.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Yankees are probably willing to bring him back on a minor league deal if he wants it. But
Yeah, it's always
he knows the pitchers.
when you're a catcher at that point in your career, you can kind of hop on anywhere and you'll get a couple games of run like Rob Brantley did this year. Some of the best Yankees lineups this year had some Rob Brantley action.
Started a game at first base this year.
Yeah, that was wild. This whole season was wild. You mentioned the 162 grind. The Yankees also put us through
The ringer.
the grind this year. Other friends that are
Roller coasters.
leaving us. Joely Rodriguez,
Yes.
DR guy.
DR guy. Joely Rodriguez.
Are you scouting him down there?
I wasn't, but I'm sure he was doing some other stuff, not playing baseball. A lot of these guys do family stuff after.
Yeah.
They don't start playing in winter. I think Abreu just started his winter ball with Elise in DR, so I'm gonna watch that. I like to watch our guys in DR when they do play out there, but I think that the Yankees are kind of with this move, and he kind of started turning into just like a left-handed specialist kind of guy.
Right, we're kind of able to hit him around a
right,
little bit.
Which is weird. It wasn't like that at first, and then he became that.
They kind of made him that.
Kind of a weird year.
Right.
Weird progression.
And then Wandy became Wandy.
Right.
I think the Yankees are trying to also cut some fat on the roster money-wise, and then they're going to try to – I think they're going to go for it money-wise. So
that was Joely, the only possible spin zone. I was 95% the Yanks were not going to pick up the $3 million option. Jim, I think he started at 98 and worked his way up to 100 after we had the conversation. For a relief pitcher, $3 million it's a little bit of a payday. And if you're a guy that only gets out half the side of the plate, the only thing I was kind of excited for was if they did pick up Joely, I thought that might be the first sign that they were gonna be the Yankees this offseason. Like, hey, this is a guy that gets major league outs. Like, yeah, we'll keep him around. That was a pretty positive spin zone.
Yeah.
That was me digging deep. That was a 5% spin zone. Doesn't happen.
I don't even think I was there because I'm just thinking I felt and I still feel there's a lot of money tied up in the pen.
Yes, there
right?
is.
There's a lot of money tied up in the pen, and
at least through this season.
And then you look at a guy like Clay Holmes,
right?
And it kind of makes you think hey, can we get a little better with scouting? That's why I'm a little why are we not protecting Ridings? What's his injury?
Right.
Because these are cost control guys that you could be able to have on the roster. So can we have more of that?
There's the Yankees, even if we weren't in the era where they are concerned about the luxury tax, I mean, it just kind of can make sense. They need a roster spot, and he's going to make $3 million. You can find a better deal than that. But also at the Yankees, they've been kind of good at finding just dudes in the bullpen out of kind of nowhere. So I think they're kind of trusting themselves a little bit to be like, all right, we'll find a replacement for cheap there, and we need a roster spot pretty immediately. So
yeah, and we know how the Yankees value bullpen pieces. They there is the financial number, but also they love the split-proof guys. Like Joely isn't their formula. We saw them. They kind of lost touch with Ottavino, which was kind of partially their doing, but also a lot of money. But, yeah, I mean, they like that Chapman or Britton when they were against lefties or righties. They don't care. Loizaga, Chad, Clay Holmes, Wandy.
Wandy.
So, yeah, it seemed like it wasn't a fit. Couple nice Joely moments. He struck out Shohei. I dreamed that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he's a guy you could have, even in the 3-batter era, you can bring him in to end an inning. Obviously, when that goes wrong, it goes wrong because got to face 3 batters unless you end the inning.
Right.
But
he had a big moment. I'm trying to think about what was a really big moment that he came into a spot.
Yeah, I forget if that was the same game. He had that one play on the field that
Chap probably knows.
It was like a swinging bunt. He came over, made a play.
I feel like
I remember that.
Was it back-to-back series? It was he got Shohei and then maybe he got Schwarber. But it was okay, is he our lefty guy? Or maybe it was an Austin Meadows or
I was
something.
putting him in the same kind of category as DeMarco Marte.
Yeah. They kind of had similar swag.
Yeah.
They kind of had that, lefty drag throw. Pitching
the
coach
Savant,
Storielli.
Yeah.
The lefty drag
numbers
throw.
love Joely.
That's
he's
the
got
thing.
Interesting stuff.
That was the other
just
thing.
That price point.
Because, we know how Matt Blake and the Yankees, if you have some baseball savant, they think they could tap you. But the numbers and everything, it is what it is. It's kind of the business of baseball.
Fair.
And I'm not.
If you're a lefty, someone will take a chance on you. He's still pretty young.
I mean, we've seen that. Well, Heaney which is my top target in this offseason, was
Already
taken off the board before labor negotiations. It was given.
Good for him.
What was it, $9 million?
8.5, I think. More than Robbie Ray got, if memory serves. A year ago.
I was trying to make Noah throw with his left hand. It just didn't work. I tried a whole season, and he's like, "That feels weird."
Yeah.
And this ended up being a jokes on me situation yesterday. I popped MLB Network on, and they did kind of a full 5 minutes on there's teams out there that think Heaney's the next Robbie Ray, and he's always had like interesting stuff. Lefty, it's a similar profile.
I'm out.
But
Yeah. So
but I was making fun of them in the office for even doing that. Joke's on me. Signs the Robbie Ray deal 3 hours later.
So I had a funny Eno Saris, who I think, did we have him on here for any Yankees stuff?
I don't think Yankees.
Maybe it was Talking Baseball, and we
Talking
clipped
Baseball
it.
we
I think we
talked
might have
about.
clipped it out for the actual podcast. So Eno Saris, he writes for The Athletic. Really awesome dude. Heavy into the pitching, like analytics, like deep. You can get lost a little bit, but also just awesome guy. I DM'd him because the Heaney Robbie Ray stuff was coming out, and I've watched a good amount of baseball, Joez.
Yeah.
I don't think Heaney's Robbie Ray and what he did this year.
If you're Robbie Ray, do you get a little offended?
Yes.
I got offended.
Robbie Ray is the MLB. If you go to his baseball reference, he has gold on his page. That means you're the best ever at strikeouts per 9 inning from a starting pitcher. Robbie Ray.
He's going to get some money.
He just won the Cy Young, which actually got me into
That was
another
announced?
Twitter thing last night that we'll get there. But I hit up Eno Saris, and I said, like, I know Yankees fans had a very different experience with the Heen Dog. But 1 for 8 for Robbie Ray, Robbie Ray always had the strikeouts, and Robbie Ray had a couple really good years in Arizona, like really good. That's when he was first on like the Yankees radar, like Robbie.
So what good years has he had with the Angels?
That's kind of what I was saying. And Eno Saris, who again, super well respected, writes for The Athletic, said, well, I just wrote an article that he's the closest to Ray out there in finding the next Ray. But he hasn't had the signature season like Robbie Ray. And the thing, Robbie Ray, his problems when he was struggling were walks.
Right.
Heaney's problem has always been the
Runs.
home run. So from that angle, it is an interesting case study of the Dodgers think Andrew Heaney has enough talent in his arm that if you can take away the 3 bad pitches a game, you can make him a good starter. It's an interesting way to think about it. I'm not saying it's right. I'd rather fix a pitcher's walks than his home runs
Yes.
because those are balls getting hit far.
Clay
But
Holmes.
You can
Clay
go
Holmes.
bring in somebody else to escape a situation where you walk a bunch of dudes. It's harder to. You can't take back.
can't
a
erase
homer.
home runs. It's tough. Near impossible.
I just didn't understand
Hey,
how
walks are
you're bringing a
frustrating.
home run machine out of the bullpen. What are we doing?
Well, they also play in a bigger ballpark.
What are we doing?
And I think it's a reminder if you're a baseball fan and you don't get in all the weeds with contracts and what players are worth. Andrew Heaney, $8.5 million, 1 year.
Good for the rest of the market, certainly.
Kind of good for the rest of the market.
The sport is healthy. That's the first conversation that both sides need to have in the CBA negotiations. They put Heaney's contract out there.
Yeah.
The sport's healthy.
That should be like the biggest shake of hands.
right there. Hey guys, the sport's healthy. Heaney got 8.5, 1 year. Let's not
Let's
kill the
all
golden
celebrate.
goose.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not do that.
That
Please.
we've gotten our society to this
We've
point.
gotten it there.
Know what else is healthy, Joe?
Yes.
Shaving around your testicles.
Okay. Yeah.
And everyone in this room does it with Manscaped. You, me, and BBD, right before the show, we turned off the lights. We said, batter up.
Wait a minute.
No, I remember that.
Yeah. BBD's the third witness in this
It's
situation.
2 against 1. I remember.
I think you guys are playing with the mic.
We were all using the Lawnmower 4.0, shaving around our bat and balls.
I don't remember that.
Well, you might remember for the holiday season, Joe, whether it's for yourself or someone in your life, go to Manscaped. Manscaped, they are 2 million men trust Manscaped. You're talking to 3 of them in this room that did it before the show. And you can get 20% off and free shipping with code YANKS at manscaped.com. The Performance Package 4.0. You got the Lawnmower 4.0. You got the Crop Preserver. There's all sorts of stuff in there for taking care
A reviver.
of your stuff. You just have to. They've got a new 2-in-1 shampoo plus conditioner. We're guys. We just need one thing. We can't have 2. That gets complicated. So gift it for someone. It comes with boxers. Have you worn the boxers?
They're very. It feels very good, very sleek after.
Yeah. Right after we did it.
I was making some decisions this morning, and I was, between underwear for the
Very
day.
silky.
And I was deciding one of the pairs I was between is the Manscaped, and I ended up going another direction, and boy do I regret it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So don't regret your decision. Go with
good.
Manscaped.
Good underwear, I have
Manscaped.
like 3 of them.
Manscaped.com. Code YANKS, 20% off and free shipping. Thanks, Manscaped.
Trim a Christmas tree.
They
Yeah, we can get some nice patterns in for the holidays.
I think
Really complicated.
Or you could do the ghetto outline way. Just get like one of those little trees thing that you put in the car, and then just put it as the outline, and then just shave it off.
a new series we have coming out, Shaving Yourself with Joe's McFly.
Manscaped, put out some stencils.
Stencils.
The other, so let's.
I baked cookies today. It says, what did he use? Your
People
stencils.
are going to say that it's me that derailed this show. There's some other small player news that we should check off. Vinny Natoli, the 30-year-old that made his MLB debut with the Mariners. We'll see. You know, the Yankees are always in hunt for their next Litke. I don't know if Vinny Natoli is it, but I did like all the Italian stuff going around. Natoli,
I'll trust the Yankees with picking up pitching.
right? They've earned
I'll
that
give
a
them-
little bit.
Yeah, I'll give them
They've earned that a
benefit
little
of the
bit.
doubt.
Catcher Donny Sands is added to the 40-man, so they protect him. All of your Donny Sands takes?
Sands of time?
I can tell you everything you need to know about him.
BBD has
not
the
a
scouting
joke.
report. He said this the other day.
Drafted as a third baseman originally. He's converted to catcher. And this year, his power, everything came together. I believe he had 8 homers like in his minor league career before this year, and he popped 18 this season. So that all came together. And the glove is overall fine, but I think fans he's not going to be the defensive solution anytime soon. And while under the current catching structure, he'll be the up and down third guy this year. It looks like, and by the time his option years are up, he'll probably be ready to just be the backup.
Okay.
So he has a good chance to be the next guy there.
Man, there's
The next guy that
Roman to
Garrett Cole
Higgy
pitches to.
to Sands.
yeah, it's kind of funny, like between Gary Romine and Higgy. Like I know we just mentioned Ty legend Rob Brantley, but it's been a lot of them.
Yeah,
Like a lot of them.
a lot.
For the past while. Since like
Who was
2016.
before?
It's been all like homegrown backup
Since like
catchers.
McCann, right?
McCann? Yeah.
The backup catcher role has been.
Feels like forever.
Romine was up and down for years and became the full backup. Then Higgy was up and down for 3 years
Chirinos.
in the backup.
Yeah, he was on the
Nah.
team.
And
Remember?
Donnie may be next.
So, again, that's more deep cut Yankee player stuff.
You're
When
either
are
going to
we-
love or hate him.
BBD, do you know
Yeah.
when we're going to find out about non-tenders?
I believe the
when that is?
non-tender deadline's like December 3rd. It's
Okay.
like it's right when the CBA happens. So there's going to be some dudes who get
So,
non-tendered and then locked out if a lockout happens in like a
Yeah.
48-hour window.
so we'll find out, you know, the Yankees' names around that. Frazier, Andujar, like Voit potentially, Gary. I don't know.
There's decisions.
I think
to
we
be
can
made.
save that conversation.
Yeah. Doesn't need to happen right now. But spots need to open up one way or another
I
soon.
am
Rule 5 stuff
very-
coming.
Open to trimming the fat. Anything that'll make the team better.
Yeah.
If you cannot trade it off the team, clear the roster spot. Just stop keeping guys around just for quote unquote potential.
Yeah.
stuff, right? The team's got to get better. Overall.
The whole roster.
The whole roster.
The whole roster. That's where I'm excited. I think we'll wrap up. And I texted JOMBOY. He's doing errands with the baby and Katie, so he's out for today. We might get him Thursday.
At some point in one
we
of the
might
next
get him
couple
Thursday.
apps,
He just had a
call
baby. Joez, do you care about any of the Yankees coaches? It sounds like Luis Rojas is coming over. It's not official. There's an Eric Chavez rumor today that the Yankees were talking to him. Coaches are coaches, and it's fun to talk about, and, we'll see. The hitting coach is probably going to be a new age guy. It's not going to be, we think. We'll see. Like, what would be news to you or news that you cared about from the coaches?
I kind of like Rojas because, and I noticed this after I was doing the De Lo Mio shirt last year, there's a lot of Hispanics on the team.
Yeah.
And I think it helps also with communication, somebody that can speak in their language kind of thing. Not that I'm saying that maybe Boone doesn't communicate with them. I'm sure he does.
Right.
But, it just kind of helps to have somebody else. I used to like Tony Pena because of that.
Yeah.
You remember?
Tony Pena, man.
Remember?
How long ago does that feel?
I know. Forever. I want people with experience around Boone. I just feel like he needs experience around him.
And, I mean, it's going to be a good shoulder for Boone to lean on, too. If it happens, it's not official, but Joel Sherman, official people, tweeted that it seems like it's happening.
Seems like third base coach is going to be.
There's not a lot of guys that can relate to being a manager of a New York baseball team.
Right.
And, like, Rojas
in this era
can do that. So, I don't know. I mean, a lot of the coaching staff gets a little overblown. I mean, I guess end of the day, if Rojas is the third base coach, in theory, the new hitting coach would be more important. Like, he's the guy that's working with the guys on hitting. But I don't know. It's the conversation you could talk yourself into circles about coaches. They are important, but at the same time,
as fans, it's pretty much impossible to know what they are and aren't doing
Right.
day in, day out. So
I'm sure that they all work hard, but I think Cashman said something about Marcus Thames and
military.
yeah, I think he said something about the drills that they were doing. They wanted drills that were more in line with what they were doing in the minor leagues.
sure.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, other than so they probably want people that are like drilling more. Listen, I don't know,
Yeah.
but something a little bit better, something that they want to align with. I'm sure that Thames worked hard. They showed him with bags under his eyes,
Yeah.
and I'm sure he was
Sleepy
losing
Thames.
a lot of sleep.
Sleepy Marcus Thames.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Rojas.
next hitting coach isn't going to be like it's not going to be. I know people will laugh.
It's not
at
going to
this,
be Carlos Beltran.
It's not going to be Posada. Like
Yeah,
it's not going to be.
Posada.
It's not going to be someone that hits your heartstrings. Like look at some of the hitting coaches that just got hired. They're guys that are They're Matt Blakes. They are
It'll be the Matt Blake equivalent.
the hitting version of that.
Yes.
It's all data.
That's okay.
Yeah, and when they need a hype up speech from a major leaguer, that's when Boone goes over and says, hit the ball.
Just hit them where they ain't.
I don't think that's their philosophy.
That's the Stump Merrill philosophy.
People point. And Rojas is just the one name that it seems like is in. I'm sure at some point there's going to be a Yankee PR tweet that's like all the names they hired him, and it was all a mystery the whole time, and that'll be kind of fun. Mm-hmm. People are going to point to the Mets' tenure didn't go great as a manager, but he wasn't supposed to be that. He was supposed to be their quality control coach. And by every indication, he's like good, really good player development dude. That speaks multiple languages. Like seems like everything else. He's a strong candidate for being a coach. So
Tony Pena.
cool.
Tony Pena.
I haven't thought about him in a little while.
Tony Pena.
Man. All right. I think that's a lot of the housekeeping stuff. I think we can get into the real fun stuff. I mean, there was a Verlander pitched yesterday at a very familiar facility.
And
Speaking of fun stuff,
And all of the rumor mills are starting to go. And, hey, you can probably – I wonder if DraftKings has bets, like if you can bet on where guys are going to sign. I feel like don't they normally have that? They definitely have bets on like who's going to win the MVP and stuff. I still think you can sneak those in.
Finalists
Although
just came out, so I think you're down to 3 people.
Although you might not get good odds.
Give it a look
on Showtime at this point. But also, it's football season, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, you can bet $1 on either team to score. Either team has to score 1 point, which happens every game.
That usually happens.
And if Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, DraftKings won't leave you empty-handed. They have huge cash prizes for their daily fantasy sports contest. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code JOMBOY. Bet $1 on either team to score and win $100 in free bets. If they score, you score with promo code JOMBOY this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older, New Jersey, Indiana, or PA only, new customers only. Minimum $5 deposit and $1 wager required, 1 per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Joez.
9 with it?
9 with it. Wasn't on there. They pulled the 9 with it. I want to talk some Yankees offseason because we can really start dreaming now. There was the Justin Verlander workout at Cressy's facility yesterday. The Yankees were in attendance.
The first thing I thought about when I seen that, Verlander working out, Yankees in attendance, Eric Cressy facility, I just thought that famous Grand Theft Auto meme where he's walking down the little alleyway where he says, shit, here we go again.
Yeah.
It's like, it just feels like Kluber all over, but, I mean, then you get suckered in. Hey, he was throwing 96.
Right.
I kind of feel like Verlander was like and he got away with this.
Yeah.
Because it was all pinned on Cole, but I feel like Verlander was like that first stick stuff guy.
Right.
You know, like 2019, 2017, maybe even 2017.
They talked about when they originally traded for Verlander. They were like, yeah, they had him in our lab and they changed his arm angle.
Sure.
And yeah, I think maybe a little arm angle, maybe some stick, but yeah.
I mean, it was kind of like the biggest open secret.
Yeah, and there's been other different rumors around Verlander. So do what you want with it. You're right, Joez. I think in BBD you mentioned this earlier. Like the only difference is Verlander's last season of pitching, he won the Cy Young.
Yes, he knows how to pitch. I know that. Same thing with Kluber.
Right.
His last 2 full seasons, I'll even one up it. Finished top 2 Cy Young both years.
Yeah.
I want to sign Verlander. He's going to want a multi-year deal.
Yeah.
He received a qualifying offer.
Yes.
He's looking for
another
real
thing.
money.
I'm going to need to sign him after that CBA because if there's a universal stick stuff that everybody can use, sign him.
I like that.
If there's not a universal stick stuff,
that.
then I think that you should go another route. But if they come up with a universal stick, and Garrett Cole's on the council with them,
Right.
Like they have a lot of Max Scherzer. I'm sure that's a point of contention. It has to be.
Yeah.
So they're going to talk about it. I'm sure that they're going to incorporate something that everybody can use, but nobody can abuse.
And in theory, that's like what the plan was this year,
Yes.
right? That's why they were taking out balls to look at them so they can figure out what like a fair or
'Cause the
cleaner
players want
substance
that.
should be.
Yes.
The players want that. So
The hitters want it too. They want them to have a little bit more control,
just
but
a
not
little
abuse
bit.
it.
Yeah.
Not 400 RPMs
Not
more.
what was happening, yeah.
Grip.
Like they should be allowed something.
Something.
But
I think, and I was sitting on the couch just like spinning the Yankee wheels last night, which was good. It felt good. The Heaney dog signing really set me off. It was like, okay, like this offseason is
We
going.
started.
Yes.
For me, it was Vinny.
Yeah, Vinny. It's a big sign. Next Litke.
interested.
Man, Jakey memes, the meme king, as I'm known as the internet. The guy sleeping in bed, and it was just like, if we sign Verlander, I'm going to believe in him to the umpteenth degree. More than Kluber.
Gonna do it.
Like Kluber, his last recent outings in the past couple years when he tried to come back weren't super impressive, but he did the full rehab. Justin Verlander's another tier above
Yes.
Corey Kluber.
Most recently.
The Triple Crown. He won an MVP.
And, like, you know, when you look back, and the guys that Justin Verlander is in pitching ilk with, like, it reminds you of, like, Clemenses and Nolan Ryans that were still able to do it. So, and at the same time, I tweeted that if he signs with another team, I'm going to tell myself he's going to suck next year. He's going to stink. He's going to be old. He's going to be injured. He's not going to be good. So, it becomes for me a little bit the classic of if a guy's in pinstripes, I'm going to buy in. I'm going to drink the Kool-Aid.
Yes.
On that season.
I also feel like he would be a great guy to have around Garrett Cole. I know Cole buys in, but I feel like there's nobody else in that locker room that can really tell him anything.
Right.
There's no. I feel like CeCe could have had that conversation with him, like, "Hey, maybe don't scream at Gardner."
Right.
You know, like, but I think Verlander, which I don't even know what happened with that team, him and the Astros at the end. I don't know what happened there, whatever. But I feel like he can step to Cole and be like, "Hey, you're doing this," or "Hey, maybe you shouldn't push the envelope today.
Yeah.
I know you want to stay in, but don't push Boone for the envelope today. Do it, you know, next week. You got a couple of more starts down the line. You know,
and
we need you."
Like with the talk when that story came out about Cole needs somebody around him because, like, yeah, he can talk strategy with Matt Blake, and I'm sure they have a fine relationship, but Matt Blake can't relate to how Garrett Cole's feeling.
Correct.
Verlander would be that.
People were tweeting out the pictures, and again, it's
there's always the pictures.
There's always the pictures, but no, it's like it was kind of nice. It was like Amy Cole and Kate Upton, like from their days in Houston, being friends and stuff like that. And I don't know, so stuff like that. End of the day, like we're gonna care about wins and losses, but if the Yankees have like a friendly environment where players like each other and their wives like each other and all that stuff, that's not a bad thing. I'd root for that.
Can't hurt.
Joez, I want to ask, because now Andrew Heaney signed, Vinny signed, the offseason started.
Yes.
What is your, maybe I'll ask for two. Maybe I'll ask for your, like, know how when you make a wish list for Santa and, like, you know you're not getting everything? Almost give me, like, the Santa wish list with everything. And then, like, if Santa hit you up and was like, hey.
I can do
like,
2 of these.
Yeah, let's tighten it up to 4. Like, let's get the shortstop. Let's get the starting pitcher, maybe one trade guy. So what's the Joez McFly dream board right now?
Okay, so I think that the Yankees, I'm kind of torn now because I wanted to give you 3.
Okay.
But, all right.
Give me 3 then.
Okay, so I think that the Yankees obviously need starting pitching. We just talked about him. If we get that stick stuff, Verlander.
Okay.
Right there, dream. He could talk to Cole, all of that stuff that we just talked about. The second person that we could bring in there, I wore the shirt, no glove, no love. I came up with that this season because I'm tired of talking about bad Yankee defensive teams. I need a very good defensive infield. I need defense up the middle, please. We'll talk about catcher.
A bad defender or 2, but overcome that.
But you know, our left fielder just want to go glove.
Yeah.
So it's congrats to him.
Doesn't have to be that way.
You know, like
as much good defense as possible is really nice.
Correct. Go ahead, get me Correa.
That's who you want.
Get me Correa short. If you could trade for Olsen and you could put him at first, get me. He's another guy that can. You know, people like to put down the first base position. Like, we don't need it defensively. You're gonna tell me Mark Teixeira did not make a difference on the Yankee team defensively? Like where you knew, I mean, didn't Jeter win a Gold Glove with him there? I felt like there was a lot of scoops saved.
A lot of scoops.
A lot of scoops.
That's the one position that like really affects the other ones.
Yes.
World Series.
A lot.
World Series this year. It's Freddie Freeman and Yuli who won the Gold Glove in the AL. So those teams had a lot of other dudes, including the Correa guy you mentioned.
That's my list.
So that's the dream board.
That's
Olsen,
my dream board right there.
JV, Correa. I mean,
I'm not in the business of saving money for Hal either.
It's not
just reset for a reason, right?
That's not out of the realm, man. It really isn't. And you know what's funny? Because we had a couple episodes last year that was, we were debating bullpen pieces and the trade deadline that passed where Archie Bradley, the Yankees didn't get him. We were kind of devastated. The Yankees have earned to the point where, like, whoever they sign for the bullpen, they have my trust.
Yes.
Like,
I questioned the Clay Holmes thing, and then
look what that guy
I
did.
seen what Jimmy said, and I just didn't like walks, right?
Right.
But then he's like, yeah, we'll fix the walks. And then what you said earlier, I'd rather fix walks than homers.
Yeah.
I'll buy in. Cressy, I trust you. And I trust Blake and Cressy and everybody and whatnot. Go ahead, figure it out.
I like that. Yeah, man, I kind of had we went through a while where we kept saying, mm-hmm. And I had a big mm-hmm moment when it was announced that Correa won the Gold Glove. And it was just like, mm-hmm. Like, the arm is so special.
It comes over the
Like,
top. It's true.
Maybe, me and Zach have been staring at each other the past 24 hours, locked in a room. That's our creative process. Maybe I'll do a couple Jake List videos where, like, best things to watch on a baseball field. Carlos Correa throwing would make the top 10 list.
I mean, you could also, yes, that. I love seeing a shortstop go into the shortstop hole and throw over or, whatever, jump throw. I love that. Third baseman obviously going over through the foul line and then
whipping it,
throwing across. That's better than the
Machado's foul throw.
Yes. Scoops.
So, okay, question. Let's say the Matt Olson Yankees trade we've been dreaming about happens. The Yankees get their slugging, lefty hitting, first baseman, middle of the lineup. Go check out Matt Olson's numbers, by the way.
I love him, bro.
Dude is a big boy. If Matt Olson was in New York City, we would be screaming his name up and down the 5 boroughs running the marathon without running it. Maybe just out the car window.
He doesn't even strike out that much.
Do you have DJ playing third?
And under that, right?
Yes, but I feel like I like the whole Yankees are going to love Russ no matter what the hell we say.
It's true.
Unfortunately, it's just what it is. I kind of want him to go back to that
original role.
Yes, where he's kind of playing off a jack of all trades, playing all around. That's what he was signed for originally. I get it. We got the DJ season from 2020 and 19 and whatnot. I get that, but if he can go back, I feel like that just makes us deeper.
Yeah.
Also, someone's gonna get hurt at some point.
It's inevitable.
And the
Baseball.
When we talk about conversations, heading into spring training or whatever it is, if the conversation is how is DJ gonna play, that's kind of a good.
Yes.
That's a good convo because he's going to.
Yes.
Because he can play first, second, or third.
Yes.
And that was the original dream. They did pay him to be a big guy and their leadoff hitter, and he was definitely hurt this year. Like he was hurt.
That's
like they didn't. It wasn't like a wait till after the season. Like his season got ended short because he was so hurt. So, I don't know. I mean, it's a really. I think the walk away from that is if that's the Yankees conversation, it was a successful offseason.
Yes.
Because that means they added guys. I would be a little nervous. DJ LeMahieu as a starting third baseman I
don't like it either.
I
think the more he plays there, the more it'd be fine, but it's not his natural spot.
That's fair. It just feels like we start playing the pieces of the puzzle are out of position again, which kind of the way you were passionate about the defense just has to be so much better. Mm-hmm. I kind of can't play the puzzle game anymore.
I'm tired of that.
I can't play I'd rather have this guy over here, and what if this guy played over there? Like,
can the players leave the night before knowing that they're going to play a certain position the next day? Instead of showing up and saying, Oh, today I'm at third base.
That'd be really nice. Yeah, and I don't know. I guess I'm.
Oh, and a lot of people don't want to sign Correa or sign a big shortstop because they feel it's gonna block Volpe.
Right,
and
the kids.
You figure it out later.
Yeah, you sign one of these guys to then move them over to third eventually, and then if they're heir apparent, then they got to earn it. We'll find the place for them to play. Weapon?
The prospects got to force the issue.
Yeah,
they haven't
exactly.
Proven
There's
anything.
they make room. They make you make room.
And it's, we forget how quickly a baseball timeline comes up. Like, we're talking about DJ and him being the utility guy finding his way. Okay, Gio gets banged up or he's not good. Glaber, like, he had started to salvage his season and he looked better at second base, but who knows? Like, we don't know where he's going to land. We hope he's going to land in a good spot. He still should. He's really young. He's got all the talent in the world. But yeah, I mean, go back to the Tony Pena Yankees days. I mean, baseball moves quick.
Glaber as second, not trying to be a power hitter, would be music to my ears.
Yeah,
I think
really
if you
nice.
Glaber, it's okay if you pop 15 to 20.
Doubles are awesome.
Doubles are great.
I love doubles.
I love doubles.
Triples are best.
Yeah, triples are safe.
Yes, doubles are safe. I don't want the Yankees running into outs at third. Tired of that.
Are there any of the shortstops that you're kind of giving the no to?
Simeon?
Yeah.
Simeon.
Okay.
Because I feel like I could so see the Yankees saying, hey, you know what? Let's go for Simeon. I seen what he did in the East. I'm not wishing bad upon him or anything, but I could so see.
Like him.
Yeah, I like him. I could so see, the next year is just you're expecting all of these magical power numbers and you don't get them. And then you'll be upset because then you sign him for this power stuff. I think he'll be durable, which is good for him. And I got concerned with Seager and Correa about that.
With Simeon, it feels like we're kind of back to the puzzle game. Obviously, he's played a lot of shortstop in his career, but he's just proven he's an elite second baseman on both ends of the ball. Obviously, his power, do I think he's 45 home runs every year? No. But he did it in kind of a dead ball year. So then we're kind of back to, all right, well, you can stick it short 2 more years, and then he'll slide somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much if Simeon,
if they did it,
he's older too.
To it.
Right, he's over 30 now. If they sign Simeon to play shortstop, and either A, it's not happening defensively, or B, it's not happening defensively, which are both legitimate options, like, you shouldn't be surprised. Like, he's getting older.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's kind of the baseball, like Simeon, I'm sorry. He's going to get paid, so I'm not sorry at all. It's me more so saying, like, second base and shortstop are different. Like, literally what just happened with Glaber.
What happened with Glaber?
And I'm not saying that's exact.
Simeon has more success defensively at short than Glaber has, but he had to. He's a guy who's made a lot of progress on that side of the ball to get to where he got to at shortstop, and then moved to second base and was instantly he was like the number one defensive second baseman this year. Got a Gold Glove.
So
45 homers.
It's going to be interesting to see. Do you think
the team will get really old if you sign Simeon? Because remember, I think I told you before. I don't remember. We had a conversation where I said the number one person that's going to be looking at Simeon's contract is going to be Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
They're going to be about the same age of their free agent seasons, I believe. And
they'd both be 31 in the first year of it.
Correct. And I think Judge is like, I'm better.
Right.
That's what he's going to say. I'm better.
Right.
So I'm going to want more money, and I'm here for the Yankees and whatnot. So if you pay Simeon, what does that mean for you signing Judge? Judge is going to want more money than that, and now you got 2 30-plus-year-olds in big money, important positions. I'd rather sign Seager or Correa, who are younger, and then keep your team a little younger.
Do you think there's anything they can do for the outfield? I mean, Hicks comes back. And his contract goes. Judge is going to be an interesting topic all offseason with his contract or the last year. Obviously, Stanton, some outfield and DH. Joey Gallo.
I'm going to get some shit for this just because
Okay.
his numbers are so good.
Okay.
And he just won a Gold Glove.
Okay.
But I kind of want to trade Joey Gallo.
You're not going to get a ton of shit for that. I think people would actually.
People will.
Yankees Twitter
The analytic crew
is on that.
loves Gallo.
Yeah.
Strikeouts and all, but I just, personally, if somebody's telling me I'm doing something wrong and I'm open to changing it, then you know what? I'm coachable. I'm okay. Then I feel like you're going to get better. When you talk to Gallo about strikeouts, he's like, yeah, I'm good.
Right.
It just feels like he doesn't, when you talk to Judge about strikeouts, he cut it down.
Right.
I mean, from 2016 when he came out, striking out 50% of the time, he's worked to try to decrease his strikeout rate.
I think he's decreased his strikeout rate by at least like 2% every year.
Every year. He's trying to
Matt
to
Olson,
do that.
who we've been talking about, 2020 season is a 60-game season, but from there to this year, he cut his strikeouts literally in half.
That's
32%
what I'm,
to
that's what I'm talking
16%.
about. You recognize it's a problem. Strikeouts used to be an embarrassment, Jake.
Right.
Now he's like
Pride.
the new baseball, like, hey, I embrace the strikeout. I'm fine. It's not a double play.
Right.
Which is, hey, I don't want double
That
plays.
is
anymore.
a-
Double
that
plays
is a
are out
benefit.
for me.
And then he did hit a couple, which was funny.
That was funny.
I guess I don't know. The Joey Gallo for me, we got a small sample size in baseball, which can be tough.
Tough.
He's a great athlete.
He is.
He's a great athlete.
He hustles on the bases, too.
So, like, I guess for me, Joey Gallo, I'm not going to give up on, and it just depends on the rest of the Yankees offseason. Because if you could have Joey Gallo as your, like, six hitter playing a Gold Glove left field, yeah. Like, I'll feel it out for a year. I'm not saying I'm going to fall in love with it when his stat line ends up being 205, 350, 37 home runs, which is still, like,
I just
so
don't
weird.
like how I just didn't like how my third base coach felt I needed to send Judge because my 4-hole hitter is probably not going to get this guy in.
Yeah.
That thought should not enter their head. It should be I'm going to trust this guy.
Yeah.
But Gallo doesn't give you that trust. He makes you feel like he's going to run into a couple. He's going to walk, get a single, or hit a home run.
And
single the other way.
to be fair to Gallo, we just never got to really see him fully go. He had like
That's
that
true, too.
10-game stretch. We never got to see one of the good runs. So it just kind of sucks that that's our perception
Pressing
of
too.
him. And the other side of it, I mean, the Yankees traded for a year and a half of Gallo. They didn't do that to trade the year. So I just don't think they're going to be actively shopping him. I'm sure if a team wants him and that's what it takes to get some other move done, he's not unavailable. But
Yes.
I
they're not looking to dump him.
it's interesting. I mean, it's tough for me to see the Yankees front office and analytics guys that clearly like him enough to trade for him kind of punt on him. He had 55 starts. So I guess I'm not even letting my head go there.
Doesn't really get hurt that much.
I would be open to it because that just allows the Yankees to make a lot of changes. And let's be honest, they do need to make changes. They got beat this year.
Yes.
By 2.5 teams in their division. So I'm interested to see. Man,
I wish he was more open to change. It just feels like he's not with that, with his responses.
right? Like
And I don't know
that irks me.
I don't
when
know
it's
if the
you,
team
like-
is open. Like, does the team? I think the team just buys into it. with him.
Joey Gallo is gonna make a lot of money this year. He just got another gold. He got a Gold Glove. His second 2-time All-Star. Like
Bunch of 30 homer
Joey
years.
Gallo is being rewarded for what he does.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see. I mean, Aaron Hicks in a full year of center field, that still makes me a little nervous. And like,
Yeah.
hey, Aaron Hicks has been cool to us. His brother Joe, I know you've seen him around a lot. He's an
Joe Club.
awesome dude. It's tough to say Aaron Hicks is going to give you 150 games in center field, and it's another guy with kind of the approach we talked about. There's more contact than Gallo, but he's a modern-day baseball
Give
player.
me some exciting baseball.
Starling Marte.
I think even Hicks.
Starling Marte would be fun. That would be fun.
I like Hicks a lot, and when he's right, it's a
It's
pleasant
cool.
watch.
Yes.
But I mean, even without his injury stuff, that ball I think is about to fall. He's getting to an age where it's like I don't know how many more years does he have as a full time as the center fielder. Just anyway, he's over 30. And big picture outfield stuff. There's got to be some other move because in theory the A lineup this year is going to have Gallo, Hicks, Judge left to right, and Stanton DHing. Maybe he's left or right any given day, and one of them, whatever.
Right.
So in theory, they need somebody back there. Maybe they believe in Tyler Wade in the outfield as a backup there. And if Gio's still in the mix and they have LeMahieu to roam, they have options.
I guess
but
that's the thing where
there's
I'm
probably
at
something else happening.
with the Yankees' depth. Tyler Wade played well this season, and that's awesome.
Yes.
Happy for him.
That's a guy you win a championship with. Wade.
Florial's age is starting to become like
Might be time
borderline
to-
major leaguer.
He might be an up and down guy.
His
this year.
minor league numbers weren't great, but he. So I don't know, but it just comes back to kind of the Yankees' way of thinking that, I don't know if I don't fully believe in Hicks for 145 in center, then am I leaning on a Tyler Wade? Am I leaning on Florial?
That's a problem.
That's now you're starting to make some bets that I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know.
They played Judge quite a bit in the center last year. How much do you really want to do that? You know, it's nice to know he can do it in a pinch.
If it means Giancarlo's playing the outfield, I'm open to it some, but not
Some.
Right.
right. Some,
But
not
It
like
could be mixed in one day a week or
Right.
so. But
some.
you move on from. I think you got to trade Gary. They're not going to because I just feel like they feel like there's potential, and the Yankees kind of feel. But I feel like he needs a fresh start somewhere.
I'll say this about Gary. I think you're right. I think they do want to move on from Gary, but I don't think there's another move. I think they're looking at the catchers in free agency. I think they're looking at the trade market, which we did briefly. I didn't do a full deep dive, but
maybe we should soon.
maybe we will. Talking Yanks coming up. But yeah, I think both sides end up staring at each other.
He's got one more year.
Here's what I'll say. Andrew Heaney just got 1 year, $8.5 million.
This is why you got to shake hands at the beginning of labor negotiations.
Andrew Heaney just got 1 year, $8.5 million. That would be Gary's contract, basically. So, again, put it into the scope of catchers. Put it into the scopes of what you have to pay and how you have to get players. I don't know. You know, Jan Gomes is getting shout-outs. I don't know. I know he's played some good games.
Like you look at the trade candidates, and it's like, I think theoretically the best option that's probably available is Wilson Contreras, who start looking at contract stuff. He's going to make like a little less than Gary, I think, and it's kind of a similar profile, better defense. But offensively, it's the same. He has some peaks and valleys, and at that point, it's kind of a close enough money. Is the juice worth the squeeze to save $500,000? Another guy who's going to be a defensive upgrade, but it's not crazy. So I don't know. There's not great options. I think they kind of stare at each other and say, "We've got one more year of this. Just kick the tires." They
We'll
know
see.
each other. He knows the
I think
pitching staff.
if you get a full-time DH around the whole league, you'll get calls on Gary.
That's an interesting angle, too.
Opens up options.
You're gonna get calls on Gary. You're gonna get calls on. You might get calls on Voit. You might get. Well, I don't know when the tender deadline is. I don't know when all of this is.
EBD
supposed to,
said
what happens in a
December 3rd.
lockout.
I believe. I forget which one's December 1, which one's December 3rd, but it's within that week. That and the lockout stuff happens. So there's a little time on the decision there.
Man, there's
Probably keep Voit until then, maybe.
the offseason started. when Andrew Heaney and your boy,
Heaney.
what's his name? Vinny Natoli.
Natoli.
When Natoli and Heaney got signed, the offseason officially started.
Yes.
I don't know, man. I'm starting to get excited for the offseason.
Are we re-signing Tanaka?
Oh boy. The Yankees are going to sign
You want to bring him back?
a starting pitcher, Verlander to Tanaka.
They need at least one more guy who can just take innings.
Something's going to happen at the corners. Something has to happen at shortstop.
Has to happen. If Alderson Simmons is a Yankee, I'm not going to be too happy.
Yeah.
Because
And
that means that they decided we're definitely not spending money. If
And
Alderson
everyone-
Simmons is a Yankee, something has gone hard.
Everyone knows the story with his bat, but I mean, look at the defensive stuff. He's been taking some steps back on that end.
Right.
Too.
If they signed
Nice
Anderson
guy.
Simmons, they would have to get me Olsen, a center fielder,
Yes.
another
Marte.
utility
You
guy.
put Marte in center field.
If they sign Anderson Simmons,
Everything else has
I
to
want
be
Olsen.
so.
I want Starling Marte, I want Chris Taylor, I want Verlander, I want Tanaka. If you're gonna Simmons me, I want 5 guys.
That's fine.
I can agree to those terms.
I'm sure Cashman's listening. He's like, you know what?
Cash hates this conversation. Cash did not like this conversation. Joe's McFly, thank you so much, my man. If you guys don't follow Joe's, you're just, I don't want to call you an idiot, but you're pushing the limit. You're
And you're just losing out on a lot of fun.
you're missing it.
Seriously, not serious life.
Seriously not serious. Pinstripe strong. JM Gaming. If you're someone in the gaming world, we have a lot of fun
Follow
stuff
JM Gaming
going
and Pinstripe
on.
Strong.
If you missed our baseball tournament, that was unreal. We're going to have more tournaments come up. Joe's going to be streaming regularly.
Yes.
All of that stuff. Joe's, thank you. We always have a little bit of fun.
Thank you for having me.
Excited to see Vinny Natoli come out of the pen.
We didn't shave each other.
Well, kind of shaved each other, Joe's. We we do a pre and a post shave. Thank you, Joe's. We will see you guys Thursday. I think the Jombino will be making an appearance Thursday, so we'll get an update on the baby. We'll see what other Yankees updates come down the pipeline. Like, stuff is kind of happening. And then we have daydreamed a couple different creative offseason episodes that might be the week after that. We'll see. We'll let you guys know. Thank you, Joe's. Thank you, BBD. Thank you, everyone in the chat. We will see you Thursday at noon.
Yes.
Let's go Yanks, babe. Tell them, Grandma.
Go Yankees.